Gunners, this is it. Arsenal versus Manchester City, the game that always shapes the title race. Now, will Arteta go with the same squad that started against Liverpool? I hope not. And it's not for the reason that you think. My reason is different. So stick around and I'll unpack all that. And this is just one part of the story. We've got Reijnders, who's quietly changing the midfield for Manchester City. We've got Donnarumma, probably going to be the best signing that a club has made this season. Might be the key signing that anyone has made. And then you've got Haaland, who's capable of doing things. So let's break it all down. Right, guys. Manchester City, they strengthen with very quality players. We're talking Reijnders came in from AC Milan. He's coming. He's played 4 games. He scored 1 goal. He's been formidable. His passing, pressing has been relentless. He's tidy on the ball, as well. And if Arsenal give him space, he can control the tempo in the midfield. Then you've got Donnarumma, the X factor. Come on, goodness, we will remember him from our Champions League excursions last season. And he single handedly won PSG that game in the Champions League. Now, he's in City Blue. And guys, I think that this might be what Pep is thinking about a psychological edge for Arsenal. And I think time's going to tell where Donnarumma is going to be doing what he did against Arsenal in the Champions League. But for me, the biggest question is really about the squad. Who is Mikel Arteta going to choose to face Manchester City? I think that midfield is going to be decisive for Arsenal. But let's talk about the squad. A lot of people criticize Mikel Arteta for that squad against Liverpool. I didn't hate that squad. I thought that squad was decent, even though Martinelli sacrificed his attacking brain for defensive solidity and almost played as a second fullback when needed. I still thought that that game was still within our reach, and it was a game that we were always going to win, by a goal or so. But I want that team to change. I don't want that same 11. And the reason why I don't want it is very different. My reason is that I want to see Nwaneri in the big games. And I think what this season is showing us is that Odegaard and injuries are going to be very unreliable. We do not know if we're going to get Odegaard for 2 or 3 games in a stretch. And I want to start to see Nwaneri carry some of that load, because if he's going to carry the load for us this season, we need to start seeing him in big games like this, and especially one that comes early on, because that would only put him in good stead for future games. And it really doesn't matter what he does in this game, but I want to see him more in the big games. And I don't want us to wait. Let's throw him in. Let's see how he handles the Manchester City pressure. If he does a good job, and I think he's a player that wants to play in the big games. I think he wants the challenge. And so let's throw him in. There's no reason why. That for me will be the reason why you change from that squad that went up against Liverpool. I think key battles for me is going to be in the midfield. It's going to be about Reijnders. It's going to be about Zubrimendi. It's going to be about Rice. How can Arsenal midfield make sure that Reijnders does not set the tempo? Of course, we know about Rodri. Now, can Rodri last a whole 90 minutes? I don't know. He's played 2 tough games before this game. And Pep was talking about the fact that don't know how he needs to manage him because he's come back from a key injury. So I think that would be key. This might be one of those games where even though Rodri plays, Pep might decide to do the long ball in this game and hoping that Haaland can catch Arsenal, and maybe create that separation between him and Saliba, because we know that Gabriel is going to be sticking on him like glue throughout that game. So this might be the tactics. But we've got Gyökeres, right? And I love the fact that he got his goal against Forest. He got his goals against Leeds and made this trend continue. Maybe he's scoring goals for Arsenal. I don't mind at home. Let him keep doing that. This is a big game. Everyone is going to be judging him, how he performs in this game. The Liverpool game, lots of people said he was anonymous, he was invisible. I would like to see him do more. A goal, no matter how he scores, it's just important that he scores. And then Haaland and our defense. This is going to be key. If it's Timber, Gabriel, I do believe that Saliba comes back into this game. Mosquera has done a great job, but I think that partnership, Gabriel and Saliba, is going to be key for us. And if Saliba can give us a good 60, 65, 70 minutes, Mosquera coming in later on, I'm good with that. Because you don't want to let Haaland grow into confidence. You want to frustrate him in this game, take him out of the game, and let's see, what Man City is made of. We've kept clean sheets in all our games except the one against Liverpool. I want us to do the same in this game. And the wild card for us, guys. I know Eze had a mixed performance. He was great against Forest and flat, some may say, against Athletic. I think he goes again in this game. He will be the X factor. Now, if he's going to start, remains to be seen. I would like to see him start with Noni Madueke. I will keep Saka to come in and make an impact in this game. But whatever we do, we cannot just leave Eze on the bench. I want to see him start. So, I mean, there's lots of people that are doing previews about this game. And a lot of people are not going to talk about, a few things, right? The fatigue factor. A game after the Champions League is always very tough, right? Man City played on Thursday, Arsenal played on Tuesday. Rotation throughout the season is going to be key. And I feel like you want this game to have the best players who are fresh, who are going to be able to run for 100 minutes, because that's what's going to be required to win this game. People could say that Manchester City have the mental edge, and maybe they do. But I would so love to see Arsenal step up in this game. I feel like we've started to be long, right? This game is not going to make or break the Premier League, but imagine the boost that it will give to Arsenal. Man City will be 9 points away from Liverpool, will be one step closer, and maybe that Merseyside derby ends in a draw. I think that will be an absolute boost. This is a 4:30 kickoff, so we will know what we need, going into that game. The other thing for me is ref watch, guys. And I know a lot of people are talking about Arsenal fans. We're always talking about the refs, but refs are becoming more and more important to games, right? Stuart Atwell, he's officiated some very spicy games for Arsenal in the past. And he does have a record of letting the games flow. So it's really going to be key to see, what happens when those tackles go in the first 10 or 15 minutes. Is he going to allow that flow? Or is it one of those games that's going to have a couple of yellow cards? I'm hoping that, he keeps his card to his pocket, lets the game flow, but more importantly, not let those dubious and, crazy things that happen when we play Man City take effect. We've had so many red cards in this game fixture. I don't want to see one. I want this game to flow completely. So, guys, prediction time. Here's where I'm going to go for a win, whatever happens. I want a 1-0 victory to the Arsenal. I think our defensive solidity should come to the fore. We've only considered one goal in 4 games in the Premier League, and that was to a wonder strike against Szoboszlai. So I would be okay with a 1-0 to the Arsenal. I really would. We shut City out. And that's not something that happens a lot, but a 1-0 will be good. Now, whether Nwaneri comes in and surprises anyone, Gyökeres maybe nicks a goal. I don't want to hear the story about Donnarumma, haunting us twice, right? If City win this game, it's going to be because Reijnders control the tempo in the midfield. Donnarumma was making wonderful saves, worldy saves after save, and Haaland prowling like a lion in the green grass, just doing Haaland things. That's what's going to help Man City win this game. But I think we can start to show that we belong. Right. And so there you have it, guys. This is my Arsenal Manchester City preview. Um, there are questions to be asked. Do we settle the score with Donnarumma? We owe him one, right, for that Champions League game. Do we finally put some distance between us and Manchester City? Guys, drop your 11 and score prediction in the comments. Who's your danger man? Reijnders, Haaland, maybe Doku on City side? Who do you think is going to make the difference for Arsenal? Maybe a defensive header from a free kick or a corner? Could it be Eze explodes to life with his first goal for Arsenal? Guys, I'll break this all down after the game on Pavilion Debrief. So win, lose, or draw, we'll be here to break down what went right, what went wrong for Arsenal. I'll see you in the next one.